Hello, we are here. We are live streaming now at this point in time. Food review. I've done the food review thing too often. I just don't understand why he says it in such a weird way. Welcome to this impromptu Q&A stream. Felt like doing a Q&A stream. My first question is, I could probably just eat weed, right? I mean, that's what edibles are. You just take the weed and you put it in a brownie. So why not just eat weed? What's stopping me from doing that? I like edibles, right? I mean, what's the issue there? Why shouldn't I be able to do that? I know that some edible preparation techniques only extract the THC, but like, why not? Did you get the money I sent on PayPal? It says Lacus Michael. I do not know. Also, forgive the sort of borders because on the webcam, because apparently Streamlabs has forgotten how my stuff works. No, I don't have OkCupid. Please stop pretending like I have OkCupid. I don't know, when did you send me money on PayPal? That's the question, isn't it? Came as soon as I got the invitation. Yes, sir, you are formally invited to this stream of live. Nothing stopping you, but it isn't the most economical use. Why is it not the most economical use? I mean, it does end up in the stomach anyway. Or is there? Because when I make brownies, there's no process where I sort of submerge it in like a fat bath and have where I have some fatty chemicals extract the THC, right? This is the kind of question you need to ask. Asking Anfash. It also tastes shit, yeah, but I'm here to get high, you know. Nathaniel Skoda, what ratio of this does YouTube take? Actually, they take 40%. Also, Neo, the Virgin scheduled stream versus the chat streaming in an hour, by the way, with $20 earlier before the stream because it's just how Neo rolls. Question, will you watch Avengers Endgame and make a view on it? A review of it? No, I have not watched, like, any Marvel movie since the first Guardians, I think. Like, I may have intermittently. I don't want to watch Thor Ragnarok because Taika Waititi does that one, and What We Do in the Shadows is genuinely one of my favorite pieces of film ever made. But yeah, what do you think of the Green Party in Germany? Somebody once said that it's the watermelon party. It's green on the outside, red on the inside. I don't know, they're just a joke. There's like a couple of them who are alright, and I like the general idea of, hey, maybe let's not destroy the environment. But the problem with a lot of people who are environmentalists is that they are also insane and don't understand the science. I saw like a picture recently of like they had 3 flags in the same town. It's like, we don't want coal, we don't want nuclear, and we also don't want like a wind park in our town. I'm like, you're gonna have to swallow one pill, I'm sorry to say. So get nuclear and also wind. Hello, Swegter. I don't know what your name looks weird. I'm not entirely certain why that is. 3 p.m. back home in the US, where I usually watch this after school, but I am in Switzerland, where it is 10:30. Yeah, well, like in the evening, because otherwise that would be like another Switzerland. Without fat, it would just get digested. You would need to take the THC out of the weed in order to make it effective. But when I make brownies, I don't do that. What's your opinion on the Zizek versus Peterson debate? Sorry if you already said it. I haven't watched the debate. I saw like parts of that debate, and it seemed like Zizek was just a cool guy, and Peterson was trying to go against the evil political correctness and the bad SJWs, and Zizek was like, yes, I agreed completely with this, because he's like, he's pretty fucking woke on the whole thing, and he just sort of conflated Marxism with SJWism in a weird way, and like, he was way out of its depth, but granted, that was just stuff that I heard. I haven't watched the debate. You gorgeous human being, thank you very much. You pronounced it correctly, says Swagta. I just thought I'd drop by and give you food props for the video you did on TJ. I really enjoyed it. Take it easy. Yeah, you too, man, and thanks for the nice words. The last Marvel film I saw was either Ant-Man or Deadpool. I saw neither of those. Isn't Deadpool DC though? I don't know. Hey, a burger and chat. Hello, Lady Justice. Is that town's population majority anarcho-primitivists? No, they're just green. Hey, yo, Berg, how do you care about life and shit? I'm kind of not sure how to go about it. Like, how do you care about life? Life may be the only thing I actually care about. Like, aside from that, that's not true. I care about a lot of things. But it's like, it's difficult to care about stuff when you're depressed. And when you're depressed, what you have to do is just not care about stuff for a while and be aware that that's okay and your depression is going to go away at some point. I don't know enough about your specific situation. You add butter to brownies. Yeah, and then you put them in the oven. Yeah, obviously. I'm an idiot. So if I buttered up weed, and then, well, at that point I might as well do the milk solution, because usually when I make like edibles, it's just I put a bunch of weeds in a pot and I cook up some milk and I drink that, and it's really tasty. I like it. But I do like the taste of weed. That's why we don't have to do it, as the batter heats the weed. Reese Bella added. Yeah. Can you do a Mexican accent? I don't think I can, actually. And if I did, it would be racist. But obviously that's what accents are, just racism. Deadpool is Marvel, but not owned by Disney until very recently. It was part of Fox's Marvel properties. I was not aware that Disney owned Marvel. The last Marvel film I watched was Doctor Strange. Yeah, I actually saw that one. That one was actually pretty good. So what's going on in the EU right now? What do you mean, like, what are all of the things that are happening within the geographic region of the European Union? Because it's, you might see quite a few! The last Marvel I saw was Endgame. Haha. Question, Bionicle brownies. That is not a question, Sandro. I guess your stomach takes too long to break down all the plant fiber for the THC to get to quick enough to get a good high. That actually does make a lot of sense. How's it going, mate? I'm alright. I am alright. Thanos kills Dumbledore. Ah, Jesus, what a terrible spoiler. Business idea, weed made out of brownies. Now we're going to a very, dark place. Burger's accent reminds me of Arch Warhammer's accent. Well, it's sort of similar, I suppose. Because I think that he is British. So, oh, Ant-Man actually goes up the urethra. I thought it was the arsehole. I was under the impression that the film was out for months, considering all the memes that I saw about it, but hey. My first time smoking weed was last week, and I was kind of disappointed. Dude, the first time around often doesn't do anything, because you have to sort of wake up the receptors that you have in your brain to the weed. So do it again. Or actually, you may just not have smoked it correctly. I don't know if you smoke cigarettes or not. I don't recommend smoking cigarettes. The animated Doctor Strange was better. I have no idea what that is. What is something I should know if I'm planning to move to Germany in the future from the US? I mean, like, you don't even need to know German. We don't walk over red lights here. Unless it's the middle of the night. That's a thing. We don't do that. Question, Bionicle brownies, question mark. Still not a question, because I don't understand the question. Will you make any more history videos? Most definitely, I will make more history videos. Wait, Lacasse, are you the guy who sent me 71 cents over PayPal? Was that you? Because some guy sent me 71 cents on PayPal, and I was like, I mean, you know, So it's a very nice gesture. Do you play any instruments? I always wanted to play instruments, but I actually, unfortunately, do not play any instruments. I might try to sort of look into fixing this fucking webcam shit. Oh, I actually can't because it's not, the scene isn't open. I just have the mixer. Boy, oh boy, that is very unfortunate. Yeah, I always wanted to learn an instrument. I did like some music when I was 13, 14 with like Magic's Music Maker that should also be somewhere on the internet. It was very bad, but it was, I mean, I was a 14-year-old using Magic's Music Maker, so, you know. Endgame still left me warmer than my daddy issues. Archer's Norwegian, that may well be correct. I should probably be studying for a test, yet I'm here. That's how you know that I value your content. Yeah, but you should also be valuing your education, my man. That is very important, Bruno Carr. Everyone asks, where is TheBurgerkrieg, but no one asks, how is TheBurgerkrieg? Actually, people have asked, how is TheBurgerkrieg? And I am doing fine, considering my circumstances that I have right now. So I am fine, actually. I'm actually quite fine. The start of Endgame, it is revealed that Thanos. Okay, I don't even know if that's a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say it because I know that a lot of people are going to cry if I spoil it in any way, like accidentally, by reading a chat message that might be a spoiler. I also don't know what I'm doing with my hand right now in my back. Though you two's pitches are slightly different, but within the same range. Bionicle, more like we need a new product line that we can shill to kids, quarterly revenues down, let's just make robots, what are we gonna call it? Let's ask the Hawaiian intern down the hall. Dude, actually Bionicle is one of the few truly original franchises that I've met, like, ever. Burger, do I have to post the link to the animated Doctor Strange and tag you on your Discord? Please don't. Because I don't really like animation. Ever been to Ireland? Unfortunately not, but I would really like to go. Especially Dublin, because they have an ice cream store in Dublin that makes really good ice cream. Which is, I mean, I have gone to places just for the ice cream. Which, I'm not ashamed of that as much as I should be. What historical figure do you look up to the most? Like, they were all dicks to some extent. I like FDR because he was rich as shit, but he still sort of cared about the poor. But there's like, everyone is sort of flawed. It is criminal that you don't have more subs, TBH. I agree, but no one's going to jail for that. There is a YouTube channel of a Kelly that discusses German-American culture clash questions a bit. I think I might know that channel. Do you have any favorite philosophers? Actually, I do. I do have one favorite philosopher, and that's Vera F. Birkenbiel. I'm not sure if she even counts as a philosopher, and I'm not sure if anything she's ever written was translated into English, but she is definitely the best one that I know. Ever been to the US? No, actually. The only time I left the European continent was when I was 3 years old and I went to Tunisia to buy slaves. No, my mum had like I think it was my mum's honeymoon with the man she married. I distinctly recall sitting in a crib in that hotel and hearing them fuck and just not understanding what was going on. Hey Burger, what's your opinion on Grant MacDonald, creator of Ram Ranch? I have never heard of either of those things. Genghis Khan should be everyone's favorite historical figure. I beg to differ, my friend. Thoughts on the shit that's going on with BioWare? Is it new shit or old shit? I am not aware which shit is going on with BioWare, but there always tends to be some shit going on with BioWare, let's be honest. A lot of people don't know series in the pipeline. No, and none of those are in the pipeline. Because I haven't made any. I don't want to, like, I like having a lot of different formats, but I am afraid of doing too many formats. Like, I wanted to maybe look into doing a thing where I do a thing where I do like, what is science fiction anyway? And then I go into like the educational aspect of the content. But I think that really having too many formats, I'm gonna be releasing another RPG video these next few days, maybe tomorrow. Like that might put people off legitimately. Like there's a good amount of having it. What the fuck? What's your favorite video game? I mean, probably City Skylines, but like, it's difficult to ask me what my favorite thing is of anything. I like a lot of things. Like, my favorite video game franchise is Mass Effect. I fucking love the shit out of Mass Effect. Have you seen Endgame? No. Once again, I have not seen any Marvel movies in years. Petition for a new Bionicle stream? No. Mentioned the Amazing Atheist's philosophical views on Peterson and the J. Peterson subreddit and got called a socialist because they said helping humanity attain their own freedom was a good thing. I like Jordan Peterson, I have to be honest. I like the guy. I think he says a lot of very stupid things, but I think he's definitely a person that's worth listening to. However, people who, like, describe themselves as like people who are fans of Jordan Peterson, I only know like one of them that is a bearable human being, and he's been a friend of mine for a very long time, and I appreciate him very much. And he's mostly in it for the psychoanalysis. Other stuff too, but our ice cream is good. What passports do you have? I mean, I have no passport actually. I just have an ID card. I know I should value my education, but it's the first test this course, and the dumbass prof didn't even teach everything that needs because we ran out of time. The test is Saturday. Fuck me. That sounds pretty fucky. Showed an email from HR that my company rented out an entire theater room for the 3D showing of Endgame on April 8th. That's pretty cool. What do you work for, like, Cinemax? Louisiana needs independence now. I agree. Or something. Come on, YouTube, don't... Are you a DP fan? I haven't watched DP in a long time, I have to be honest. Ever since, like, a couple episodes before they broke up, I stopped watching DP. But I used to be, like, super into it. Like, I watched it for years and years, and I was on their Patreon. I still like... I like Billy, the Fridge. He's a cool guy, but I don't know. The new DP, I'm just not a huge fan of, you know? How do you feel about the French government talking about redesigning the Notre Dame? I mean, that's what happens with, like, buildings. They're not going to redesign it. They're not going to tear it down and put a new Notre Dame. They might put something that is modern, because historical buildings have, over the course of history, been ruined several times, and then, you know, they rebuilt it with, like, new stuff, or they added new stuff onto it. That was part of the times, and now we all see that as the past. This is something that I think Americans don't understand, because you don't really have, like, very old landmarks. Which is, there's a bit of a generalization that Americans don't understand that. I'd be completely cool with the glass roof over the Notre Dame. I'd also be cool if they just rebuilt the roof as it was. Because what you need to, if you live in a country that has tradition, what you need to understand is that having tradition is good, and having old things is good, but you need to be able to evolve and move into the future. You need to take your tradition and put it in a new context, recontextualize it every year, and that is the only way you do not stagnate culturally. That's how you get a cultural heritage, and not just a culture. Watched your channel last night and just watched the April Fool's video today. Where are you actually from, dude? I am from Germany. Also, thank you for finding the channel. I'm from Germany. Born and raised. I did live in Spain for a few years. Do you have a favorite scientist? Isaac Arthur, that's my favorite scientist. He has a PhD in physics. I think he qualifies. If you're a big fan of TJ Kirk, are you also a fan of Paul Ziegel? I am. I love Paul. I've wanted to be friends with him for a long time, but he's way too cool for me. Do you follow the SCP universe? Not actively, no. There's a lot of very good SCPs. Is the amazing atheist still having intercourse with bananas? He might be. I don't know. If he does, I wish him the best fun. Do you believe Sega can make a Sonic game that's actually good ever again? I have actually never played any Sonic games, so my opinion on this would be very, unqualified, so I'm just going to say cardamom. Listen to Ram Ranch now. No. What specifically is your accent? Well, I once chose, like, a British accent, but it has since transformed into... It's got a lot of different influences from various different things that I have experienced. There's a little bit of Australian in there. There's a little bit of American in there. There's a little bit of, Nordic in there. There's various English accents in there. So it's my accent, really, isn't it? It's just based on the British received pronunciation thing. Did you just ask the same question again about the redesign of the Notre Dame? A few years ago, I got really, really upset that they stopped making white chocolate Maltesers. They used to make white chocolate Maltesers? Today I found I can get a good substitute at Poundland, and please tell me what that is. What the Jesus. I might drop over a few questions, because if you scroll through the YouTube chat, at some point it just jumps and I completely lose track. They're talking about modernizing it and designing it to the tower to represent multiple religions. I guarantee you that they are not doing that. It may be someone in France is saying that, but the French government is not. You might have to stop watching Paul Joseph Watson. The White House is burned down before they rebuilt it. Yeah, but that was like shortly after they built it. So that's a different thing. I don't get the over-fetishization for Notre Dame. It's a beautiful building, and it is a cultural landmark. What's your opinion on worker co-ops? I really like the idea of worker co-ops. I think there should be more worker co-ops. The thing that, like, German car manufacturers, for instance, have is that you always have union members on the board, and that is why people like to work for German car manufacturers. Do you have a favorite Reich? No, I don't really. I wouldn't want to live in any of them. I like the Republic. Or top 5. Fuck, I might have missed that. Please restate your question, Lady Justice. My apologies. It's a historical landmark for Christians all over the world. Is it really? It's really not. It's just something that right-wingers have now started going completely nuts over. Just been watching Isaac Arthur's latest video. I haven't yet. Please don't spoil me. My favorite scientist is Brian Mathan. Isn't he one of the Top Gear guys? Are you familiar with the RPG Blades in the Dark? I have not. But I have been actually working on my own RPG, and I think it's taking shape in a good way. And it's really extremely simple. And I like the fact that you don't have combat, you just have conflicts. And you have 3 different, like, health pools. You have, like, physical health, social health, and mental health. And when you lose when you get tracked down completely, you lose the encounter and you lose a point of plot armor. And when you have no plot armor left, you sort of lose your character. But also you get plot armor if you do cool things and if you roleplay well and if you achieve goals. But you can also invest plot armor in order to improve your character. So it's like experience points that gives you that is also your health. What is your strategy to make sure you have offspring? I do not have a strategy for that. I will have offspring. That I know that I will. Burger is actually from Brooklyn. Don't believe his lies. You fucking cocksucker. What? How did you find out about this? Do you like the Half-Life game series? I have not played it, but I hear good things about it. And also, how exactly do you choose an accent? I learned English through Ray William Johnson. So when I was like 14, I used to speak like Ray William Johnson, which is you know. But eventually, I noticed that the American accent just doesn't taste very good in my mouth, which is something that people give me weird looks for saying that, but it's true. It just doesn't have a nice texture. And I was listening to a lot of Ricky Gervais when I was like in 11th grade, and I just chose that accent, and I changed it a little bit. I actively tried speaking in that accent for a while, and now it's just how I speak when I talk English. Poundland sounds like my boy pussy. Fuck. When I don't even. The thing dropped because the chat jumped. Thanos puts on the mask of shadow. I'm not gonna. You know. Most people in 18th century England pronounced the hard R. Okay, yeah, well, maybe they were racist then. If they radically redesign it, they better prepare for riot. Why? First of all, there's been consecutive riots in Paris for like 23 consecutive weeks. Also, why would they radically redesign it? I'm going to Estonia in June. Have you ever been there? No, but my ex-girlfriend has, and she says it's Estonia, right? Yeah. She says it's really nice, and you should definitely go. Macron wants the Notre Dame's roof to be done by the 2024 Paris Olympics, and experts say he's an idiot for wanting that. Well, he's a politician. Also, I didn't know that the 2024 Olympics is in Paris. What I really want to go is the Football World Cup in, I think, 2026 is going to be in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And I really want to be in the United States for that, because people, like, Americans are going to care about football at that point because they are automatically qualified, and they're gonna probably get fucked in like one of the first couple of games because the United States sucks at football, and that's going to be very interesting to watch. Definitely right about it being beautiful, but it's one of those things where everyone on social media pretended to care just because it was a trend. I'm not sure what you mean, but I am probably correct, yes. Someone was new to your channel, what videos would they watch first in terms of what's relevant to most people today? That depends on what is relevant to you personally. I have a wide variety of content. When in doubt, watch the latest videos. What do you think of Sargon? I think he has sort of fallen off the deep end, but I'll be honest, if the right wing is like Sargon, if we get like a new right wing and it is like Sargon, I would be very happy with that, because he is at his core a liberal and principled person. He just is weird on a lot of issues. So yeah, if Sargon became the new proto right winger, that would be pretty good actually. Spoiler: Isaac Arthur molests Thanos with facts and logic. Brian May, Queen guitarist, actually. Yes, I totally knew that. If it doesn't have Biona Kill, I ain't good. What is a video game, book, movie, whatever that you recommend everyone experience? I highly recommend that everyone read Dan Simmons' Hyperion, and most importantly, Dan Simmons' The Fall of Hyperion. And I recommend that nobody read Dan Simmons' Endymion and the Dan Simmons' The Rise of Endymion, because those two are bad, but the first two are very good. Also, I recommend that you read that you watch the film This Is What We Do in the Shadows. It's very good. It's like a mockumentary about vampires living in New Zealand. I mean, what else do you need? How much do you know about the disintegration of Yugoslavia during the 1990s? I know that it happened. And I know that my driving instructor was there as a translator. He served in the military as a translator, but I don't know anything else. Your least favorite normie statement this year so far? That's an impossible question to quantify. Burger very clearly isn't from Brooklyn, as he doesn't say he is from Brooklyn all the time, because people from Brooklyn always say how Brooklyn is great and how they're from Brooklyn. I've never been to Brooklyn, actually. How do I get around the fact that I have zero fashion? How can I learn fashion? Go to genuinely, right? Find out what colors suit you. There's like, just Google, what colors suit me? How do I find that out? Then go to a thrift store, pick out shit that you like, and wear that. Talk German. 9. Are you just naturally able to pick up foreign languages? Because I've never been able to do so. Yeah, I do seem to have a sort of talent for speaking foreignese, as they say. ¿Es verdadero que tú no hablas una palabra de inglés? Sí, eso es verdadero. Yo ni hablo una single palabra de inglés. Que no sé ni nada en inglés. So how does the American accent taste for those who can tell? It's not so much about the taste as it is about the texture. It's like it's very... It's very difficult to describe. It's like it's fatty in a way that like it's I'm missing an English word actually right now. It's very slimy. It goes too fast. It goes down through the mouth too easily, and like the British accent, it's more accentuated. It's more it's crisper in the way that you speak it. Hey, is English your home language? No, it is not. It's actually German as my mother tongue. Have you kept up with the Netflix Witcher news trailers? If so, opinions? I have actually not. But I do look forward to that show because I like what the fuck did happened again here now. Jesus Christ. Once again, I will jump a few questions. Only Lord Mickey asks, with 2 buckaroos, are you a fan of the band Itchy? I have never heard of them, unfortunately. The epic store is a good thing, sue me. I'll just say no. If the World Cup is in America and we somehow win, the whole world has to call it soccer after. You know what? I agree. If like the football gods of the world get defeated by the United States of America, which has historically been an extremely sucky team, except for that one goalkeeper that has Tourette syndrome, who is a very good goalkeeper and who I do genuinely hope will play in that World Championship. Yeah, I agree with that. It's gone on a bit of a bend lately. Yeah, on a bit of like a bender, you might say, on a right-wing bender. Love your channel, very insightful and level-headed. Well, thank you for that. Fred, that makes as much sense as... Okay, that's not me. I feel like capitalism is inherently contradictory to democracy, comrade. I strongly disagree with that in a lot of ways. I actually believe that capitalism, when done correctly, is a form of democracy by which consumers, if they actually have agency as consumers, can define the market and the economy. We have a good variety of ice cream in the US. I mean, there's probably quite a few good ice cream stores in the United States. I would agree. We all know that Ant-Man gets that purple cave experience. How old were you when you lost your virginity? You know what? I was 21. I think. I might have been 20. I think I was 21. So, suck on these. Yeah, it was very late. I was a late bloomer when it comes to the virginity. And I recently have been informed that there was like one of the ultra hot girls in my high school was sort of into me, and we were like peripherally friends, and I just never would have gone for that because she was like really top tier. That was an interesting experience. Greetings from Romania. Found your channel yesterday. I have a question. How did you find my channel? What happened? What led you to it? Because I was running the ad campaign with Neo experimentally, but it stopped a couple days ago. But I'm still getting massive amounts of subscribers, which I am very happy about. How do you feel about The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan? It's on my reading list. Always wanted to read Hyperion ever since I watched Haruhi Suzumiya. I mean, sure. No, when I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. Was I 20? Yes, I recall that. Yeah, I was 20 because I recall my 21st birthday, and I was 20. When I lost my virginity. How old are you? I'm 24, so you know. Do you think animals better than humans? No. Why would I have what civilizations have animals built? Um, what's your opinion on Vladimir Lenin? He was a historical figure that existed. What we do in the shadows is the title. Yes, that is. What the. I have to. Honestly, YouTube, fix this. What's your opinion on the Honk Clown World meme? I used to love it, the Honk Clown World meme. Now I hate it because it was gifted to the alt-right. And I think I might have done a video about that a while ago. It just genuinely pisses me off that the alt-right gets gifted all the cool memes. Nunca te había escuchado hablar español excelente. Muchas gracias, Camilo. American is just off-brand English. This is true. On his Discord, post memes and philosophy. Heil Kek Honkler. You're on his Honkler's Discord. American would be Spanish. Have you ever heard of Liverpudlian English? I have heard of Liverpool, and I heard that they talk very strange there. The TJ video was accurate as I see it. I think TJ's honesty is unassailable. Definitely. I don't think anyone's referred to him as a philosopher yet, but I can't find fault in it. No, and I think that's okay that no one has, because maybe they shouldn't. You dislike identitarianism. Do you view communities-based identities like LGBT communities and identity what the fuck? Now it just jumped on its own, and I don't. LGBT communities and identity politics, or do you see them as collective safe communities for minorities? Why? When are they bad? I do agree with people who are oppressed helping each other out, not being oppressed and being legitimized in society by advocacy groups. I totally do. It's when you start dictating what the rest of the world does, aside from please stop treating us like subhuman garbage, that it's a problem. Since there's an 80s fetish nowadays, how do Germans feel about that? I don't know how Germans feel about that. I'm not Germans. I'm just a German. So it's because American English goes quickly, like it's unpronounced. Yeah, it's unpronounced. That is a very good way of describing it. Ben and Jerry's. I'm gonna have to jump a few of these because of do you have a favorite art period? No. I like a lot of them. I like Art Nouveau and Art Deco, but especially I like Catalonian modernism and Gaudi. But everybody should know that I have a boner for Gaudi. I was 17. I was 17 with a 30-year-old, ugly and overweight. Oof. I was actually fairly fit at the time and good looking. So you personally think that UBI should replace the rest of social safety programs, or do you think it should supplement it? Replace, except for like very special occasions, like when you just completely, like when you can't walk on your own and can't be fed, you have to be fed also. But I generally do think that it should. Greetings from Israel. Well, thank you. I have family in Israel. What do you think of my solution to global warming by releasing antibiotic-resistant virus that murders all cows? No! Finding channel through the Yang video. Well, that is actually a lot of people have. The Neolutionist. What, $5? This has to have been a while ago. That track that chick down and do the horizontal disco. She doesn't live in this town anymore, and that stuff was not. It didn't end well. Let's say that. Love your Discord. Hey, everybody, join his Discord. Please don't everybody join my Discord. I don't want too many people in my Discord. The way I found a channel was we're looking at Ernst Röhm and I saw you. Okay. Brilliant. A question, what do you think For Us, The Living by Heinlein? Haven't read it. God damn it, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. I'm gonna, whatever this is. Okay, this is where I am now. Burger, what do you think in German, or is it just whichever language you're currently using? Basically that. I think in German and I think in English. It just, changed around all the time. Is your opinion on NoFap still the same? Yes, of course my opinion on NoFap is still the same. Where is what you do? Okay, just because blah blah. After, it's difficult. Europawahl. Don't vote CDU and don't vote SPD. Honkler isn't for the alt-right, it's a 4chan to piss off report. Yes, I am aware of this, and reporters gifted it to the alt-right, so now it is alt-right. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy of Pepe. Well, the first video was the What's with the Communism video. Yes, this is my only really viral video. Have you heard of Cal Kolinsky from Secular Talk? Oh, only like pretty much every day. He's one of my favorite fucking channels on this godforsaken website. What we are waiting for the article about the gay Nazi flag joke from Paul Law. They might keep that off. Thoughts on Canada? I might move there. That's my thoughts on Canada. What European country do you hate the most? I don't really hate any of them. I mean, European or EU? Because I don't like Belarus. It's a dictatorship. Yeah, Secular Talk already. LGBT people aren't second-class citizens in America. They're complaining about nothing. They used to be, and now those organizations still exist. And also, there are places in the United States of America where they very much are. It's just not the coasts. Can nihilists have empathy in your opinion? Yes. 100% definitely. Of the word cuck as an insult, but every time I use it, everyone thinks I'm alt-right. Yeah, the alt-right uses it a lot. Do you believe that our Lord and Savior will start a colony on Mars in the near future, or is it just hype? He might start a colony, not sure if it's going to be in the near future. Find me a state where they aren't equal if not privileged. Alabama. Why did you choose your channel name? That's a beautiful story. My internet name used to be Silver G, because when I was 11, I wanted to be a gangster rapper. And eventually, I made a Minecraft account, and I thought, wow, I was cringe, like, last year, and I decided on the name Burgerkrieg, and that's basically what it stayed forever. Have you played Soma? I have not. Will you ever take the political compass test on camera? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe. Do you often do live streams? This is funny. I do live streams once a month on the now the other channel, the second channel. I will do the Patreon live streams, but I will be doing like big live streams, maybe with guests on this channel. And sometimes I do want to get like a box of American candy off Amazon and do a live stream where I eat American candy, because I have never really had American candy. And it's always like these, when you see that shit on like BuzzFeed and whatever these channels are, it's always, oh, Americans try candy from Simalumphistan for the first time, and oh, this is a goat leg that was made with the honey of hyacinths, and it was roasted over the fire where they had a homeless person that they cut open and they put hot coals in there. And it's like, this tastes like candy. That's like, Americans have no frame of reference for that shit, but if you do it the other way around, I don't know, that might be interesting. It's a terrible idea, but I need money. Why do you have a sock as a pop filter plus an actual pop filter? Because I am a man of redundancy. I'm German. What about maybe fab? Maybe do. Brian Wilson, what the fuck is going on? I ask myself that every day. Holy fuck. I'm gonna jump to the current super chats. Mystery Art, $10. Thank you very much. Found your channel through the What's Will the Communism video. Watched literally every video after that. I don't agree with everything you say, but generally I do. Also, you're pretty funny. Thank you very much. And you're a long-time fan and a dedicated fan, and I very much appreciate that. Any tips for learning German? Don't. That is the best tip I have for learning German. Oh, watch Tatort, I suppose. That's pretty good. Jesus fucking hell. Why are you such a liberal gaylord? Because I like being a liberal gaylord. Do you have the Cash app? The what now? Have you been ever interested in doing podcasts? Yeah, I mean, Fast Food Thursday was originally a podcast, but then people started leaving the channel because I was too interesting. I have tried to get on podcasts. I've been on a podcast, the Ben Coomer Fitness Podcast. Please don't ask me how I got on that. Actually, there was one of the guys who does that podcast is a futurism guy, and that was pretty cool. I would love to go on more podcasts, but I don't know how to do it. I was on the Optimus podcast when it was launched the first time around. Need to join BuzzFeed as their token German person. No. Have you tried Fallout New Vegas? Yes, I have, but unfortunately, because of laws, I can only get it in German. Apparently the sinking of Lusitania was forced by US orders. I don't know what that is. Have you ever had Dragon's Beard cotton candy? Highly recommend the Korean variant with peanuts. That sounds like a made-up thing, and if it's not, I want it. Even if it is, I want it. Do you think there is an average difference in intelligence between racial groups due to natural selection heredity? There is definitely a difference in the average intelligence between races. It's like 99% it has nothing to do with natural selection and heredity. This is all, like, we don't understand it like 100%, but it's pretty clear that intelligence does have a genetic factor, but the variance within a certain ethnic group is way larger than the variance between different ethnic groups, and it is more dependent on what your mum ate when she was pregnant, on what your dad drank before he nutted inside your mum, the food that you get, the intellectual stimulation you get, the education that you get. It's a very complex thing. Have you seen the channel Bald and Bankrupt? I have not. Isn't German just angry English? No, English is just bastardized German. PC or console? PC. What the? How is that even a question? By the way, Epic Store is a general good. Once again, I strongly disagree. I mean, it's good that there's different stores, but also, no, the Epic Store is shit. I will never buy any game that comes out through the Epic Store, ever. Unless it is released somewhere else. I'm learning German because I'd rather not learn Spanish. Spanish is so much easier than German. What are you, crazy? Pamela Anderson or Carmen Electra with a yeast infection? I know who Pamela Anderson is. Isn't she dating Julian Assange or something? You should ask to get on the State of YouTube podcast. Oh, I would love to. But how would I do that? How would I ask to get on like a huge podcast by some of my favorite fucking guys? What's your opinion on countries like Denmark having mandatory German lessons in primary school? Do they? I mean, we have like mandatory foreign language lessons. We learn English in school. Not primary school, though. I think that would be a very good idea to teach that from primary school. If you need to, if you get your A levels in Germany, you need to speak 2 foreign languages. So that's what a high school diploma is. Do you watch Ideology? I don't really, because it's too much content. I don't really have the time. Der Tatort ist unerträglich. Ich disagree stärklich. You're gonna celebrate when you hit 20,000 subscribers? No, I'm gonna just. Of course, I'm gonna fucking celebrate silently in my room when I hit 20,000 subscribers. I don't think I'm gonna do like just consider this the 20,000 live stream, maybe, because I'm definitely not gonna be doing another live stream this weekend. Tomorrow I'm on the computer science faculty party, and then on Saturday I'm eating artisanal ramen. I just spat. That's disgusting. So then, what food do you recommend before nutting inside someone, as you said? What? And how much paint thinner you sniffed as a kid? Yeah, that's also very important. What is going on? May I say the N-word if I've drank dirty water from the Niger River? I generally believe that people should be able to say the N-word, but if you say the N-word, you can be criticized for that very much by people who disagree with your ability to say that. Have you ever considered trying to make a book and get it published? Thank you. I think you have what it takes based on the Who is Betty channel. Thank you very much. Yes. As a matter of fact, I will be publishing a book next month. I'm just getting through the last few short stories that I am writing, and it's being very difficult. It's mostly going to be stories from Who is Betty with a few exclusives, though, so it's a short story collection. It's not a novel. IQ is 89% heritable and 80% genetic. The average IQ of an African is 70, and their IQ spread is much smaller, so literally 1%. This is factually incorrect, and you do not have the scientific evidence to actually corroborate this idea. What you are doing here is is confusing correlation for causation, because yes, this is in general true, but have you considered that living conditions, educational standards, and so on are not particularly good in Africa compared to the rest of the world? There are a lot of very smart Africans, and you know what happened? We know what the thing is with them is that they grew up in very good living conditions, and they got really good educations, and so they were smart. Did you know Nikola Tesla has no monument in his hometown? It was destroyed during the Yugoslavian war by Croats because he was Serbian nationality. Yeah, that sounds like Yugoslavia. 30 years later, Tesla still doesn't have a monument there because of ethnic tensions. Do you know of any similar problem with a solution? No. Actually, there's the town in Eastern Germany. No, I think I'm revealing too much information about a person that has not agreed to this. I have been to a town in Eastern Germany where they have a Lenin statue. The Epic Store makes itself appealing and engages market competition by taking less the creator's share. No. It holds products hostage. That's what it does. There's a unique Animeosaurus did a pretty great video on this in regards to streaming platforms that you might want to take a look at, and I think it also applies very well to the thing. Do you agree Austrians sound like very, very camp German people? I had not considered that, but now that you say it, you're not wrong. Have you ever been to or wanted to go to a shooting range? I have been to an improvised shooting range in a guy's garage, and I have shot a rifle at a wooden bird, and it was very boring. Hey, is the book on your shelf a misspelling of Hyperion? Yes. No, and I think you were in the comment section a few days ago, and I saw your comment and I responded to it. No, I'm gonna get the book real quick because no, please do not fall out of that. This is an English language book. It's Dan Simmons Hyperion, but if you look here, it is Dan Simmons Hyerian, as a matter of fact. No, I got this. I don't know which edition this is, but this is an English book. I like the smells of books. It's a misprint. It's the dumbest misprint that I have ever seen. It took me months to realize it myself. Unfortunately, no one has approached me willing to pay vast sums for it yet, so... But if somebody is, like a collector, is willing to approach me to pay, like, vast sums for this, I would be willing to part with it. Actually, serious question about Bionicle. What do you think about the trend Crom? I am not an expert. Do a 20k video where you simply pop a single pop confetti and look extremely bored. It's not a terrible idea. By the way, in one of your videos you asked if Americans basically have to take optional courses. The answer is yes, they're called AP classes. Did I ask that? IQ has nothing to do with education. That is factually incorrect. No, first world Africans do not have a substantially lower IQ. You may have a... lower average IQ in communities that are poor, and a lot of Africans in the first world live in communities that are poor. But if you look at white people who live in comparable communities that are poor, they also have a substantially lower IQ. The best predictor of IQ is money. And not your money, but your parents' money. Though your money is also a pretty good predictor. Let's see. What's your opinion on the Gregorian calendar? What? I'm sorry, what kind of question is that? Thoughts on Jim Sterling? Jim Sterling is my favorite Gamergator. Well, if you can actually cite me those studies that prove that that IQ is primarily based on genetic heritage, please do cite those actual studies and do not allude to modern studies that you've seen in some Jean-François Garrier-P stream. The Neolutionist with $10 competing for exclusivity is not the same as competing for quality. Epic Store is gay in the same way that Hulu and Netflix are gay. Even though Steam is guilty too, it's tolerably good enough. I fully agree with this statement that I just received $10 for. Well, actually I received $6 for it. But the spirit is $10. Is free will an illusion? That really depends on your perspective. So, you are reversing causation in the money-IQ relation. I am very much not. I am... When I say it is a very good indicator, I am saying that there is a correlation. I am not saying that having a lot of money means you will have a higher IQ. This is you putting words in my mouth. What are your thoughts on the Julian calendar? I have even less of an opinion on the Julian calendar. What do you think about the new British law that's actually going to enforce age restrictions on porn? It's one of my favorite things ever, because let's call them the Sargon crowd, are always talking about, because this is what Sargon says, oh, Britain has this liberal tradition. England, we're so liberal. We're the liberalist of the liberal countries of liberality. And it's the best thing, and all the continentals, they don't actually have freedom. And Britain is literally the most authoritarian and dystopian state in all of Europe. Like, in Western Europe, I should say, not Eastern Europe. Because something like a porn age restriction ban that is actually enforced, you would never get that. Even in like deeply Catholic Spain or Poland, that just wouldn't happen there. Introduce a toddler to logic problems and spatial thinking early, and that person will crush in most IQ tests. It's as easy as that. It's not quite as easy as that, but it is also not much more complicated. Have you ever had the desire to invade Poland? No, I've been to Poland quite a few times. I don't really, What's your favorite type of porn? Well, I'll be very transparent with this. I like women-friendly porn. I am actually legitimately a fan of porn where women get off, because women getting off is a huge turn on. Genetic and environmental influences on general cognitive ability. Is G a valid latent construct? Literally, that sentence didn't make any sense. Please cite me studies. But you can't train IQ, you just have it. That is not true. How do you get your hair cut? I go to a haircutting place. No, Jim Sterling was anti-Gamergate. No. He was anti-Gamergate. He's still my favorite Gamergater. I mean, have you watched any Jim Sterling videos recently? Literally all of his talking points, aside from the ones where he is in favor of occasionally censoring games, about the games industry and about the games media, it's all Gamergate talking points. It's all the games media cannot be taken seriously. They're just basically the huge PR firm for the gaming industry, and it's all just a huge circle jerk. And there is corruption in there. It doesn't make any sense, and it has no journalistic integrity. That's basically what Jim Sterling says about the gaming press, and that is basically Gamergate. Do you agree, Burger, that objectively good isn't a thing? Yeah, I agree with that on a technical level. How do Germans feel about the Holocaust? Poorly. Nobody. Nobody. Certain Turkish people are often sometimes very proud of that. Nobody wants to be the people who did a fucking genocide. Least of all, the worst genocide of all time. The UK has free speech laws and stuff. Well, so does literally every other Western country. Other Western countries have free speech in their constitution. The UK does not have a constitution. It does not have a de facto. It has a de facto constitution. It does not have a verified constitution. Hey, the repressed young Catholic pedo priests called. They want their haircut back. What is this? This is a weird meme. I have a very good haircut. What is your problem even? Wie oft jeden Tag sprichst du Englisch wirklich im Durchschnitt? Often more than German, because I talk to myself, and when I talk to myself, I tend to talk to myself in English. Sargon doesn't need porn when he has the idea of the UK. You just need a picture of the Queen and Britannia rule the waves going in the background, and he nuts. He was convicted of touching children in New Orleans. Don't trust this guy. What's going on? Who was convicted of touching children in New Orleans? What is your favorite keyboard layout? German. I see you're a man of culture. There's some weird shit. I think there's some weird shit going on in the chat. There's like a raid going on. It's probably some weird guys doing a meme. I'm getting Discord messages. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find like an actual person who is maybe interested in questions. Like, for instance, Beast. $10 popped in between meetings. Have a good stream, bro. You should have posed a question, Beast. Thank you very much, my man. I consider you a good friend of mine. Also, get back to your meetings, man. Don't leave the people waiting. Education only impacts verbal IQ. Non-verbal IQ and spatial intelligence are very genetic. This is not true at all. The problem with porn being blocked in the UK, the men will be too embarrassed to protest about it, lol. That is not wrong, actually. That's just not wrong. Do you think Trump is going to get reelected? I wouldn't say that he's definitely not going to get reelected, right? But I do have hopes that the Democrats actually get their shit together this time around. I have hope for that. I'm not sure that they will be able to do that. But if they do, he's definitely going to lose. Eric Fapton, that's a nice username. Yang 2020, I'm on the fence. Oh, I'm like, I do Yang as a meme. I'm not actually, and thanks for the $2 actually. I don't think Yang is actually like politically feasible in the term of like Yang is not going to win the nomination. But I think he's very important to introduce certain ideas into the public discourse. Like, for instance, UBI. That is very important. Thoughts about Game of Thrones. I am actually watching the latest season, and I am liking it more than I thought. Keemstar is live on Imsta telling everyone how you molest kids. That's why we are here. I know this is a troll, but I'm actually going to go on fucking Instagram now. Keemstar Instagram. I'd like to, though it is like a live stream, isn't it? I don't know how Instagram works. There's like nothing on Twitter. I have actually heard that Keemstar has gained some like standards of journalistic integrity, so obviously he wouldn't be reporting that on account of it not being true. But yeah. What's your opinion on the Hong Kong clown word meme? I already addressed this earlier. It's basically I'm pissed off that it was gifted to the alt-right. Have you heard of solipsism? I have heard of solipsism. My favorite thing about solipsism is that when people say, I am a solipsist, wouldn't you be the solipsist? Your arrogance and emotions preventing you from swallowing the truth. No, here's what is preventing me from swallowing your bullshit about race and IQ is the fact that you have absolutely no scientific evidence to back up the bullshit that you are saying. Mate, I'm a long-term fan of your streams, but these allegations... Okay, this is definitely some sort of weird raid going on. New Orleans 47? Like, I've never been to the United States. When do we get the TheBurgerkrieg or the TheBurgerkrieg with fries? I might actually eventually do, like, a cooking thing. Yeah, he likes those Arya Stark titties, am I right, Lamau? There was a sex scene this time around. She's like, I would hope that she is no longer underage on account of, you know. What are your feelings on internet literacy? How can a person utilize the potential of the internet? What effects would a more internet literate population have on the age of big data? I do actually believe that it's a very good idea to put I mean, a lot of schools already have this, but that we should, I think, put that... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the thing? Yes, internet literacy. I think we should teach internet literacy in schools to kids. And not like where you have the technology teacher that is just an idiot that does not themselves understand how the internet works. I think there's a lot of things that especially young people need to understand about the internet, about the permanence of the internet, about how information is processed and stored on the internet. Yeah, I do believe that we are that we should invest in internet literacy heavily. This is actually going to this is some weird shit that's going on. Opinions on why fascism failed in Rome back in the 1940s. What is going on with you? Is the UK porn ban a bit pointless, as you can easily avoid it with a VPN? It is a bit pointless, but it's about the principle. You can avoid it with a VPN. Heaps of scientific evidence. Well, then please do cite me actual studies, and do not just refer to heaps of scientific evidence. Did you like your Anström video? It's how I found out. Did you like the video yourself? I did kind of like it. I didn't actually plan on making a series out of it. Read the bell curve by Charles Murray. Oh Jesus, that is not a scientific study. That is a book. And it's not even one that is it's not one that is actually applicable to the real science of race and IQ. I didn't actually plan on doing a series out of that thing, but it just sort of happened. Have you heard of MBTI? What's your opinion on it? I find that MBTI is like the astrology of smart people, which is, you know. No, I am the ENTP type in MBTI. I think it can teach you a lot about yourself, but you also shouldn't like take it too seriously because it is, after all, like an internet personality test. Do you think the internet should be free? I don't think it should be free, but I do think it should be classified as a public utility. How should a proper reform of the education system look like? Oh boy, that's a pretty big question that I can't really answer in like 1 or 30 streams. There is quite a lot of evidence that IQ is hereditary to some degree, but essentially dissolves quickly in the population because it is such a high order effect. Pretty much this. It is much better to, if you want to determine how intelligent a person is going to be, don't look at their race, look at how intelligent their parents are. That is, if that's like the genetic component. I just started watching you. I like your voice and your opinions. Thank you very much, Brianna. California public schools rank the worst in the nation. That may well be true. California has a huge population, and the United States does not invest shit in education. UBI, Steve Preston, $2. UBI increases aggregate demand, leads to more inflation. That is not true. That is factually incorrect. That is not how inflation works. If you want to know how, please watch my video on how inflation works. UBI can increase the cost of luxury goods. That might happen. Yeah, listen, Childish Gambino, I'm actually banning you now because this is getting a bit... Just temporarily, because this is getting I didn't want to delete all this. Come on. Can you bring back Fast Food Thursday but make it earlier? I have already had to make it later for other people. Then it's genetically... Okay, look. When something is genetically related, doesn't mean that it is 100% caused by genes. See, this is how they get themselves banned, by just repeating the same word over and over. No, that was me. I don't actually have any moderators. Oh, dude, the alt accounts have been out since the beginning. I don't think it's one guy. It's probably several kids. It has to be script kiddies. I am actually on Keemstar's Twitter right now, and I'm seeing like nothing. So, you know. It would be very interesting if Keemstar actually did falsely accuse me of being a pedophile. That would be, you know, interesting. Slow mode might be an idea. Are you a cat person? I am a cat person. But I am, I like dogs more. Like, I am, yeah, actually, I will make you a mod, Neo. Is this Neo? The Neolutionist is now a moderator. Yeah, I'm more of a cat person, but I like dogs more. Oh, hi, Doplex. Welcome to the channel. Some guys have decided to start a raid on this live stream, declaring that Keemstar has declared me a pedophile for apparently raping kids in New Orleans or something. Yeah, if you want to check that out, go to Keemstar's Twitter account, where it's about PewDiePie and also how he acid washed his pool. That is money. Also, this is not you acid washing the pool. This is people that you are obviously paying to acid wash your pool. But I mean, I suppose when you have the money, would you read this? Never. Oh boy. Gib Wrench. You have Wrench, Neo. Why do you always stream so late on weekdays? I always stream on Thursday. I'm at a party tomorrow. Can I be the guy with the stick? I am not sure I understand what that means. If you already accept that intelligence is heritable, the intelligence of racial groups is rigorously documented. But these are studies that look at genes that are linked to intelligence between group. These studies that you keep referring to, link them, please. Actually link them. Do not vaguely allude to them. Yes, intelligence is hereditary, but the hereditary effect is not found in different ethnic groups. It is found on a much smaller familial scale. And even there, it does not really account for a huge amount of the intelligence, though the amount that it can account for is quite significant. There is further correlation between intelligence of the parents and the child, because intelligent parents are better skilled at intellectually stimulating their child and building an intellectually challenging environment for a child in a way that normal parents couldn't. I'm saying normal parents. I'm being a bit unfair to normal parents. But if you're smart, you know how smart people feel, basically. And if your children are smart, then you can understand them better, as opposed to if you're a parent who maybe isn't extremely intelligent, or like just of normal intelligence. There's not the same level of understanding what that child would need for its intellectual development. Do you think that YouTube political commentary and debate is getting better or worse? I don't actually care, frankly. Berg, in terms of MBTI, have you heard of the functions? Yeah, actually I have heard of the functions, but I never really got into it a lot. Are you a pothead? I'm pretty sure you smoke pot at least occasionally. I do smoke pot at least occasionally, but I do prefer edibles, because I don't like smoking. Thoughts on Yanis Varoufakis DM25? I like Yanis Varoufakis, he's a pretty cool dude, but I'm not sure what you mean by DM25. What's your take on psychedelics? There's been a lot of new research on them in recent years. Also, can you not be a sissy and permaban the pedo guys? Yeah, I gave Neo mod powers. I have to... It's very distracting to have to answer questions here and also have to moderate the chat. So, yeah, I'm all for psychedelics. I've not done a lot of them, but I think that it's there's a lot of cultures, especially in Latin America, where psychedelics are just a fairly normal part of life. It's something that you do traditionally to find yourself. It's got a it's not something that you look down upon. It's just a regular thing that is part of experiencing who you are as a person. Similar in how, say, we drink alcohol and go on benders and then get like hungover and have learning experiences from that. Do you watch ContraPoints? Not really. You are linking them. I've not found a single link in this entire chat. So, yeah. Please ban. What are your thoughts on ContraPoints? I do not watch her, unfortunately. Jesus fucking Christ. I watched your UBI vid. Aggregate demand's effects on price is basic macro. When people have more disposable income, they will spend more. Aggregate demand increases. PL goes up. That is not the same as inflation. That may lead to a higher price for certain luxury goods. However, there are a lot of goods that you will not be able to demand more money for. Literally look at the studies. There have been hundreds of studies done on this. There's been UBI in Alaska for decades, and cost of living has not gone up because of it. Jesus fucking Christ. What is going on? Also, if you admit that IQ is genetic, I do not, and that blacks on the whole have lower IQs, and therefore it cannot be fixed with education. No! That is literally the exact opposite of what I am saying. That is precisely the exact opposite of what I said, you dumb cunt. What's your favorite philosopher? Already said, Vera F. Birkenbier. Do you like King of the Hill? Like the format? I don't really do. This is just the same questions over and over again. It's Sargon, it's ContraPoints. What's your height? That's a new question. Last time I measured, I was 19. I was 180 centimeters. That's what it says on my passport. I wager that it's still the same. Burger, will you find genetically engineered cat girls? I don't think I will. Maybe they will cross my path one day. I'm pretty sure YouTube doesn't allow for link. Jesus fucking Christ. What as a reader do you hate in a book? I am 1/4 of the way done with writing mine and want to avoid amateur mistakes, plus you seem an avid reader. You can't ban someone. That is fucked up. Don't ban Fred. I don't read nearly as much as I should, maybe. Genuinely, I don't. I can't really give you like a comprehensive guide on writing a book. You might want to go to like... You know what I can recommend you do? I recommend you check out Brandon Sanderson's class on masterclass on writing sci-fi and fantasy at BYU. There's a live stream series about it. Definitely do that. That is cost push. That is still not how inflation works. It does not inflate the value of money, because for the other goods, the value of money remains the same. This is a supply and demand thing. I'll like you take a shekel. Thank you, the mop. Jesus Christ. What do you think of Alan Watts? Never heard of him, actually. Apples are a great source of vitamin C and fiber in India as a country with poor ethnic culture, but all of it is meaningless because he's... Okay. King of the Hill TV show. I've never seen that. I've never heard of it. I've heard of King of Queens. Is Neo actually my sugar daddy? He is. I'm fairly young, 8th grade, and can you confirm that people are very computer internet illiterate? You can confirm that. Yeah, it's surprising for like a generation that apparently grew up with it. How much money did the ads cost? I think it was like $400 in total, but I didn't actually pay for it. This was sponsored for me as like an experimental thing. Can I have wrench? No, I only give wrench to like people I extremely trust. I'm sorry. I don't really know you well enough. Jesus Christ. This is very confusing, YouTube chat. You've admitted that it is largely heritable. but it is more to do with family than race. I did not admit that it is largely heritable. I said that familial heritage played a very important role, yes. And that is something that we know. We also know that we cannot extrapolate this to the racial level, and there is zero scientific evidence for this. Have you ever smoked weed? Obviously I have. Should we gas the weebs? Not really, but I will say that we should. What's the deal with people linking UBI with inflation? Maybe people assume the government would print the money and just give it to people. It's because people don't understand UBI and think they're very smart about economics because they saw a video from Prager blog. Hey, did you see the Zizek versus Peterson debate? No, I didn't. And I also talked about this earlier. How do you get into books since they just don't grip me like they used to? You just have to have discipline to read it. What are your thoughts on the Bengali calendar? Do you like the Discworld novels? I actually have not read them, but I have 2 of them now. They were gifted to me, and I will read them at some point. What's your whole take on the whole video games cause violence thing? No. That's... Like, there is a... Okay, if you have someone who wants to do violence to people, they will often, like in the Western world where you have a disgruntled individual who will eventually go up and do like a mass shooting. Usually, they are outsiders to their social group, and not only is like violent video games a very common hobby in the Western world, but it is more common with like social outcasts. And you have a lot of you don't have a lot of social outcasts, but the people who will generally do something violent tend to be social outcasts, unless you're talking about like a large-scale warfare situation in a violent country. In regards to your video about literature snob, I agreed with your point, and furthermore, I also think what you said was applicable to film and animation. It probably is. Your thoughts on young adult media. I haven't really read young adult since I was a young adult. Am I still a young adult? What are your thoughts on the Greens and Gerb? Is this just this? Am I just at the beginning of the chat again? Because these are literally all of the questions that I have already answered. So yeah, I'd say that this is gonna have to be the end of the stream because I'm not getting any new questions. Or if I am getting any new questions, they're buried in huge amounts of like questions that I've already answered and trolling. Have you had Hitchhiker's Guide? I have actually. I did actually very much like it. Have you ever had a really bad trip on edibles? No, I haven't, but I do tend to avoid going on edibles when I have depression. Is drinking alcohol actually an integral part of adolescence in Europe? Yeah, like it's pretty much everywhere. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll see you around. A good night. Burger, what's your favorite drink? Water. Why do you think people bring up IQ when talking about race? It's irrelevant. It shouldn't be a factor. IQ shouldn't be the deciding factor of whether you get rights or not. That anyway, it shouldn't. But like, it's easy to say, oh, but like the African people just have a lower IQ because of the race. And it's more socially acceptable to say that than just saying I hate niggers, which is what these people actually mean. $2. How do you feel about Sargon? I am very sorry, but I have answered this question like 3 times this stream. What I will say again, if all of the right wing is now like Sargon at some point, I will be happy. Yeah. So basically, what's your opinion on nihilism? That's a very deep question. With a lot of layers that I can't really answer. Because how do you even define nihilism? Okay. I will go to the window and end the stream. It's 1.5 hours. It's pretty decent. So, thank you all very much for watching, and see you around, cunts. and I do actually want to end the stream.